Donald Trump says he's ordering a 100% tariff on all films produced outside of America that are brought into the country. This is confusing. Rob, you did a great live stream
69.
talking about this. Is it productions that are US based, but they shoot maybe overseas? Mission Impossible movies are very global. How is this? Is this only foreign films? I get what Trump is trying to do, and we'll delve more into it. He wants to bring production back to the US, but
He wants to save Hollywood. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, and I will say this, our Wednesday show this week on Hollywood on the Rocks is all about this and Hollywood becoming the new Detroit. Our special guest with Alan and I on Wednesday will be Jim Agnew. He tells me production will never return to LA. He says it's dead, it's gone, it's too much regulation, too much everyone needs a taste. And we will do a deep dive on Wednesday, but initial reaction to this, I'll bring up the Deadline story from everyone.
Well, motion pictures are one of our great exports in terms of what we get back. This is we far outweigh in profits what foreign countries give back to us. So this is one of our strongest exports around the world. So to put tariffs on motion pictures is silly from that perspective. But I think, Chris, what you were saying, Los Angeles, people took for granted that production happened here. Yeah. It's been completely killed because, like you just said, Chris, everybody wants a taste. You can't even, when I first moved here, the first movie I worked on was in 1989, and New Line, it was Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And New Line could make a movie like that here in town for $3 million.
Yeah.
You could never do that today. That wouldn't be you can't even park cars on the street without permits that cost you an arm and a leg. Mm-hmm. You have to hire so many police officers. They've made it almost impossible to shoot movies here. It's so expensive because everyone gets a taste. What they need to do is, and I hope maybe they'll come up with this, is a federal tax incentive, because you now have multiple states. Chicago has great tax incentives. Louisiana has them. Georgia has them. Illinois, did I say Illinois? Illinois has them. They're building, New Mexico has them. They're building a new studio by outside of Vegas. So why not bring back production by the federal government having tax incentives for productions that want to avail themselves of them? And you also have to get independent filmmakers. When you get a tax incentive in LA, it's all the studios that get them. They don't carve any out for independent productions.
Look, I don't want movies from outside the US, like French films, Korean,
neither do I.
British movies, Canadian movies.
There's more.
I don't want them to be penalized for not being made here. And also, to be fair, the market for foreign films in the US is very small. I don't think they need to be penalized. And so people understand, and you probably know about this, Paul, other countries like the UK, France, Canada have their own film boards where the government sets aside money to make movies, and you can pitch the Canadian Film Board and make a film that is very Canadian, and they're made to export the identity of the country in a positive way. It's good for tourism. It's good to learn the culture. French films, a French comedy is very different from a British comedy or a comedy in the US. I love it. I like seeing cinema from all over the world. What's happened is that the American identity has been diminished by trying to go after the global market rather than making a film that is fully American. I'd like to see that more. Now, is there a way to incentivize this? Make American films, shoot in America, give those movies tax breaks, or set aside a fund like a lot of other countries do. A lot of countries. I just saw a French film, a French romantic comedy called Jane Austen Wrecked My Life.
Oh, it's great.
Did you see it?
I've seen the trailer. I want to see it.
It's really good. I've seen the film. It's coming out in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
We'll review it.
Looks hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's about writing. It's also romantic. There's boobs, Alan, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I'm in.
Why don't you start with that?
But
I know.
what I'm saying is, I like French movies. I like British comedy. I just saw Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Saw it on a Sunday in a packed audience at 1 p.m. It is very British comedy. I want to see foreign films. It's a small
By the way,
market. I realize.
How big are the boobs, by the way?
I will get into that in the review. You'll have holding for the review.
Right.
Chris,
I-
there's
Chris,
there's
did you see My New Partner, the French movie My New Partner?
I haven't seen that one, but what I would like to see, it's not a bailout, but let's give tax breaks, incentives, something rather than penalizing. I get, and also it's nuanced because there's a lot of nuance to this that I don't think maybe Trump totally understands.
No.
And there's another story that just dropped from Deadline about I'll put it up in a second, but please offer your thoughts because a lot of people are talking about this.
I am not for tax incentives. Why not? If production is so expensive in Los Angeles that you can't make your thing there, lower the costs, get rid of the regulations.
Well, that's what I mean.
Tax incentives don't do that. All
Rob,
the tax incentives do is give you money to pay off these people who are charging way too much money to make your movie here in Hollywood.
We'll get into it Wednesday, but Rob, please.
I was just going to say that one of the things that people don't understand, like why should we pay our tax dollars or give tax incentives? I'll explain what's great about the reason that you have states that are giving tax incentives to Hollywood productions is because you have Hollywood comes in and they spend all their money in that state making the movies, which means not only do people get paid, but you buy the lumber to build sets in that state. You go to restaurants in that state, and the crew on Friday nights goes out after they work and spends all their money. So Hollywood brings in an influx of massive amounts of cash to local economies. That's why that other states like Georgia or New Mexico have incentivized Hollywood productions with tax breaks because you come out there and spend all that money, and it's a huge boon to the local economy. It's
I understand the local economy in other places, but it is still way too expensive in Hollywood.
Because we've taken it for granted, and everyone gets a taste. Everyone knows that the studios give you money.
You got to get rid of regulations. You got to get rid of regulations. You got to lower these costs. That's why this is my frustration with this tariff, is because he doesn't take into account the fact that Hollywood overcharges to be able to do a production in Hollywood. And it has nothing to do with
that's Hollywood.
That's a local issue. That's
Trump's talking about
that's news.
Trump's talking about that, but
this is why Hollywood's dying.
You're 100% right about that. Rob is 100% correct as well. Is that when you're taking your money to a community or to a state, city, another country, all of these American dollars are circulating in that economy and enriching everybody there. And Trump is saying, no, we got to keep that work here in America. I don't think he cares one lick whether it's done in LA, whether it's Georgia, whether it's Louisiana, wherever it's at, as long as it's done in the United States. I think that's where all of these tariffs and everything. And look, I think the tariffs are just a way to get a conversation started. I don't think he's serious about doing tariffs because that's what, it's what Trump does. He throws this word tariffs out and everybody's, oh my God, tariffs. All right, we got to go talk to Trump. Okay, now we're getting an audience that's nervous and that's probably willing to do whatever they need to do to make sure that we don't get these tariffs thrown on our industry. I don't know if you guys have ever read Art of the Deal, but that's kind of the way Trump does business. It's stick carrot. He shows you the stick, and then he kind of dangles this carrot. How about this? Is this work
either his stick or his carrot?
Well, the stick is the tariffs. All
I
right?
want you to touch my stick, Paul. Hold it. It's nice and girthy. You'll feel patriotic. We'll hit communists with it.
The carrot is going to be tax incentives. I think that's the John Voight who has been talking about all of this. John Voight, he's been going around trying to get people to listen to him, and I think very few, like the SAG-AFTRA hasn't taken his calls. I think the Writers Guild hasn't yet talked to him. I saw this in a Deadline article. So I think this is Trump's way of saying, okay, do you want to talk to us and talk to my guy, John Voight over here, my special ambassador, or do you want these tariffs? And I think the tariffs are going to get everybody to answer the phone, get to the table, and negotiate something for American workers so that way we can keep more productions here in this country. How that all plays out, I don't know. But I think Trump is really just using the tariffs as a way to get the conversation started, which is what he always does.
I hate this talk about tarifists.
Tariffs will continue until morale improves.
Yeah,
Right.
but look, just so you know, let's really quick. This dropped hours ago on Deadline. Donald Trump indicates there will be a meeting with Hollywood reps over movie tariff proposal. I'm not looking to hurt the industry, so I think that's a positive sign. It's I mean, he can't. There's a lot of subtlety to this, and I don't know. I just think I think he has the best intentions. That's
Well,
I mean,
he can't hurt it any more than it's already hurt itself, right? I mean,
yes.
this is crazy. The film industry has been dying a slow death for years now. There's nothing Trump is going to do to make it die faster. You know what I
Right,
mean?
but to DA's point, he's bringing it to the forefront, which no one else has been able to do.
Right.
No,
Right.
no one's been
Let's
able,
get the
no one
conversation
wants
started.
to talk about
I
it.
do
They
have
just
a-
wanted to let it happen.
I do have a question because I don't know about any of this stuff. So, but for productions like Dune that needs certain specific locations,
Yeah.
like Jordan in the desert, like what do y'all think?
That's a
I
that's
don't
a
know how
big
that
problem.
fits the American
yeah.
production if they film overseas for certain locations. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think Trump knows. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's yet to be
That's
determined.
why I
It's-
don't think he's throwing it out there. He's
Yes.
tariffs, and everybody runs to him and says, "Hey, whoa, slow down." And now,
Yeah.
okay, good. I'm glad you're here. Let's have a talk about what the movie industry has been doing.
People
Let's
need
see if we can
dramatic
get things
examples to
straightened
shake
so
him
we
out of
can keep
apathy.
more production. Yeah, I
That's
don't
what it
think
is.
he's really serious about it. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's just using this as scare tactics, and it's working. You see
Well,
everybody.
the question is,
jumping
how
on
do
the
you do
movies.
it? I mean, how exactly will tariffs? What do you tariff? The production costs, the ticket costs. What do you? That's all the things that aren't being answered here.
Yeah.
and also if you like to go out to answer Nerd Cookie's question, if Mission Impossible shoots all over the world, would they put tariffs on those
Right.
international shoots because they've shot in different countries? But the movie, you shoot in a different country and then you can come back and spend a year in post-production here in America. So the way movies are made, it's not as it's easy. So what about a company like Netflix that is funding a Korean show like Squid Game? Are there going to be tariffs on that show because they're putting a Korean program on their network that's an American
Mhm.
network? I mean, they're putting out shows from India, they're putting out shows from Spain, from Germany, from the Netherlands, from Norway. Do all of those things get targeted for an American company that's literally distributing their products worldwide?
So here, as a Canadian who has usurped a lot of American production, hallelujah. I just want to say that this is of all the industries that you could be doing the tariff thing, whether it's aluminum or steel, where you're actually making stuff, this is a ridiculous proposal, mainly because this is all about the American industry itself shooting itself in the foot. It is their problem. You created it, not you, Robert.
No,
But
I
I
know.
mean, it's
We
a
did create it.
self-made problem
Mostly Robert.
that and it's not I mean, look, I have this notion that Trump is kind of wanting to help LA, but LA I don't think can be helped. The California rules, the cost of electricity, they've already blown it, and they have more to worry about from New Mexico and Phoenix and
Vegas
Georgia
now.
than they have from Canada. So if this tariff comes in, maybe productions in Canada are going to be decreased, but then it's all just going to move to New Mexico and Georgia. They're not going to get any more production out of LA if that is the notion that Trump is mistakenly working on. But this is a self-inflicted problem. I find that offensive.
100%.
I just think it brings to light all that. Look, we've been under Gavin's rule a long time. I've seen some horrible decisions during the pandemic where production was allowed to take place. Other small businesses shut down.
Yeah.
There is just way too much regulation in LA, but the talent is here. And I'll say, unfortunately, not for long, because I've talked to friends who are changing their careers.
Yeah.
I've been in TV for 20 years. Now I'm going to culinary school to learn to be a chef so I can feed my family. It is tragic what's happened in California.
Yep.
And at least it's getting some attention. I'm tired of this divisiveness. Can we look for solutions in a bipartisan way and say, here, maybe that's the best idea, not a left idea, not a right idea, a better idea to actually fix, because I have people giving up on the film business and the TV business. It is shocking. We was it you, Alan, that brought up we were talking last night, and you brought up this game show that was shot in Ireland.
Yeah, it was
please.
Rob Lowe's television game show called The Floor. They shoot it in Ireland. It is cheaper to fly 100 people to Ireland to shoot a television show than it is to film at the Fox lot in Century City.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
That's
It's
wild.
ridiculous. A game show. I mean, it is Hollywood is killing itself. The fact that there has not been some summit among studio heads to address cost issues, to overregulation, grifts. Hollywood is so susceptible to grifts. And by that I mean things like, because they want a virtue signal. So you've got the your HR department helping with casting. You've got DEI. You've got COVID compliance, right? You've got
Intimacy coordinators, Chris.
intimacy coordinators, which I think should be something that the actors themselves choose to take advantage of or not. But I know movies where people have not done it. The movie Queer with Daniel Craig, I saw there's a Q&A on the Film Thread members only videos where he says, we told the coordinator to go away. We'll do it ourselves. Actors are professionals. Some younger actors feel they need that. It's fine. But there are way too many grifts for this industry. It's too complex. My friend Jim Agnew, who's going to be on the show on Wednesday, made a movie in Kentucky. And he was going through what it would have cost to make the exact same movie in LA rather than Kentucky. It's insane what the costs are. It's insane.
Let me ask you guys a question.
LA is out of control. Trump's just he's drawing attention to it.
Hey, before DA, I want to bring up this thing I discovered in Los Angeles. A senior level grip in LA can cost around $53,000 for 30 days, while a 7-person set operation team in Budapest costs around $59,000.
Yeah,
Jim
and the
is
food's better.
When I talked to Jim, I had dinner with my friend Jim Agnew, who will be on the show Wednesday, and he was telling me everything that's going on and all the regulations. He made 3 indie movies last year, all under 10 million. And he's setting up another movie. And he's just telling me the reality. That LA production will never come back. It's done. It is this LA is the new Detroit.